in fish, but also for farmers who are growing crops. And well, the estimated market demand, and I'm not saying classical view supply meets its own demand, because this is a market for demand-oriented market. And if it fails, it just is wasted. And there are other problems in terms of distribution, not just to the end consumers, but the crops and the food that you keep for poor people, to provide them in ration shops, subsidized cost. Sometimes there's pilferage. There was a huge case, I think in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, March 2008, that 70% of the storage that was kept near the harbor, because it was imported before it went to the ration shops. Ration shops are the subsidized shops where poor people who live below poverty line can show their card and get the food at a discounted rate. 70% of the storage was eaten away by mouse. See, what are the challenges? It's quite not natural. It happened in just one state only. But of course, if they've got multiple centers rather than one particular that thing near the harbor, I think they can reach out to the end consumers more easily and effectively. You can save it, you can store it, sell it a month later, rather than throwing it away. Because yeah, so that's a huge infrastructure gap which still exists, and also the area where investments are welcome. And that makes sense if they welcome all these biggies in the West. So infrastructure building, storage, access to the market, connectivity with the local people, different areas to explore. Yep. Okay, let me just finish off the, I think I've got the last section already, so it won't take long. Then the sectors I was mentioning are the Pakistan nationals who can invest, which is quite a welcome change. If you know anything about the political and cultural side of India and Pakistan, then you will know this is a very welcome change for Pakistan to invest. It's a good step forward. I think the steps have been taken 7 or 10 years ago. Finally, it's been formalized. Now, the government made changes in the 6th edition of the Consolidated FDI Policy Circular. That's where I stopped. A ready reckoner for foreign investment related regulations that is effective from 5th of April 2013. Last year, amid opposition from some of its key allies and state government, the center permitted 51% FDI in multi-brand retail sector. That's again multi-brand, not single brand. The government also allowed foreign airlines to pick up 49% stake in the cash-strapped domestic carriers. Now, I just want to talk a bit about this cash-strapped domestic sector. It's not in the report. The airlines is one of the sectors where if you've got many players, now by many players I mean the market is overpopulated, it's very easy to get some casualties in the process. Yeah? Many airlines die quite on an ad hoc basis. If you follow one of the key airlines in India was Kingfisher. Kingfisher Airlines. Kingfisher is a diversified business. You've got alcohol, breweries, lifestyle industry. Kingfisher, they lost the regulation, they lost the license to fly in Indian air. Forget about foreign flying. They lost the license to fly in India because it was cash-strapped, it couldn't repay the debt. It's one of the most common mistakes that many people do in terms of understanding the market in the wrong way. Before continuing, I just want to clear why the foreign airlines were allowed to pick 49%, because it's quite a lot, 49% in airlines sector. We hear about the term anywhere in the globe. Which airlines are you flying? And your answer is, I'm going to fly a low-cost airline, yeah? A low-budget airline. Now, based on the research, I would say it's a wrong term to use. It's a wrong term to use, low-cost airline. It's actually low-priced airline. This cost is same for more or less all the players in the market, especially in India, that happened. Because Kingfisher was not one of the low-budget airlines, it was for elite class. But some of the other actors, other players in the market were like SpiceJet, like our EasyJet here, or Indigo, which has got limited routes like your Germanwings. They were low budget or low priced airline. And but due to this over capacity in the market, some players will die in a period of 5-6 years. It came more prominently to the news very recently because of the failure of Kingfisher. It was very profit-making, succeeding enterprises in the country, and they were interviewing one of the existing airline suppliers, which was called Sahara. Sahara had a market share of, I think, 62% in the year 2004, because in that time we just had got two players, Air India and Sahara. Now the government started issuing licenses to other domestic firms, and Sahara predicted that it is very complex to design demand and supply calculation in the airlines market. So if they suggested to the government, they recommended, if you allow more players to come in, there will be casualties in the long run. But government decided to go on with it. Sahara decided, we are quitting the airlines industry on that very day. Sahara stopped its airlines business. It sold itself out to another firm, and just as it had predicted that there would be a downswing in the market in 2010 to 2012, the example of Kingfisher came up in 2012 because it lost its license. So airlines is one of the key sectors. Similarly, the government has also raised FDI cap to 74% in various services of the broadcasting sector. The foreign investment ceiling in ARCs has also increased to 74% from 49%. A move aimed at bringing more foreign expertise in the segment. The policy is also listed as many as 8 mandatory conditions and 1 optional clause with regard to conversion of a company with FDI into a limited liability partnership firm. Now, limited liability partnership firm, LLPs are quite common in the West. Indian investment market, that's the purpose of this paper. Indian investment market still an unsaturated market with immense potentialities. That's a term that we can use. The challenge therefore remains threefold. Acquiring the right technology, be it in any sector that we're talking about, acquiring the right technology, deploying it optimally and remaining cost effective whilst delivering sustainable returns to shareholders. Yeah? Sustainable returns to shareholders. So first of all, acquiring the right technology, deploying it optimally and remaining cost effective, and also while delivering sustainable returns to shareholders. Thus, managing technology so as to reap the maximum benefits still remains a key challenge for Indian banks, as has been rightly been diagnosed as an institution can optimize performance by ensuring that each of the 3 sides of performance triangle, the 3 performance, the sides are, first is corporate culture. Secondly, the task that individual must perform, and the motivation, behavioral makeup of their employees. These are the 3 sides of the performance triangle. And we have got theories in business management where we study organization, culture, and of course leadership and motivation. Now these things needs to undergo a cautious treatment. It is a pure case of change management, not just risk management, and as such, organizations, both public and private, need to focus on appropriate capacity building measures to equip their employees to handle advanced risk management systems. So one side you've got change management, while you welcome new technology, and you've got risk management, credit, market and operational. I'm finishing up soon, especially the rural sector, because I'm focusing where the market lies for the investment. Especially the rural sector needs a shot in the arm. In as much as the section bears a lot of hidden, unexplored potentialities, because you've got women entrepreneurs coming out at grassroots level. Renewable energy is one of the most attractive sectors to invest in. Capital support to boost infrastructure, though there's a huge gap to be filled in. In the arena of agri-industry service sector, intersectoral reversible flow. I'm repeating this. In the arena of agri-industry service, intersectoral reversible resource flow process, in which these economics are heralding a new era, though getting strengthened, yet requires further pep up. And for that, investment scope is very much there. considering the huge mass base and other commercial scopes. Speaking on India's macroeconomic challenges, some Reserve Bank perspectives, this is going to be published in May. The Reserve Bank of India's governor said that the biggest concern by far is deceleration in investment, because today's investment is tomorrow's production capacity. Today's investment is tomorrow's production capacity. Today growth is moderating because investment is decelerating. One thing we all have to acknowledge, even though we don't like to, is today the macroeconomic situation in India is a consequence not just of global factors, but it's a consequence also of domestic factors. The RBI would come out with growth estimates for 2013-14 in its annual policy on 3rd May 2013. Thank you for being a patient listener, staying away and participating all across. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's a process innovation. I'm used to there. That's a takeaway from me. I can share it at home. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We still have some minutes left that we would like to use for you to ask Boidurjo questions.
If the questions are complex, please mail it to my father. Simply, yeah, I'm here to be tortured.
Yeah, many years ago,
How many?
maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, India was a kind of fashion market for German industry. All the major CEOs of German companies said, hey, we need to go to India, growing market. Since probably 1.5 years, 2 years, it seems it's all over.
Yeah.
There are some other more fashionable markets than India. You have given us, from my point of view, a very institutional based on India. We are, more international business. Those people like to sell things. Can you give us a bit of knowledge and probably your own opinion? Why is India a bit of lacking and behind expectation?
Yeah.
What's going on current level?
Okay, right. And the broad, two main broad challenges. I wouldn't say it's a problem, it's a challenge that we try to solve. First one is the procurement chain and value chain challenge. Procurement and value chain challenges are, domestic actors can kind of survive, but for foreign firms, they have to make a lot of alliances, local alliances to move on, or at least to survive in the business. Because if you look at the two broad goals of any business, you've got the first one is survival. People go into the business not just keeping profit in mind, but also survival. Second one is profit. Third one might be growth. Now, I think the question that you are asking, or it will be a very common question, the question is why did they fail to grow at such a large scale, which they started off in 2006 and 2007. First problem is the value chain and procurement channels, and the second one I think it's governance. Governance, not to speak of the support provided by the state governments and of course national governments, because all these FDI regulations, the enactments have been forwarded, discussed and implemented by the national governments over the years, but the kind of support that they get at a micro level from the state governments, or if you're investing in a regional rural bank, then they kind of not just state, you've got community level banking support. That kind of strings, in terms of motivation and leadership, and they don't really have much alliances with the foreign banks. I think the infrastructural support, institutional infrastructure, institutional support in terms of providing effective governance, looking at local level leadership, training up people, the behavioral or attitudinal makeup of the employees who are dealing with these foreign banks, and of course the problem of value chain and procurement chain that I think we already discussed in the food sector. In terms of the fashion market, I think after 2006 and 7, when German was one of the top investors in that market, and the shine is growing. I think many more competitors from the West, and also some huge, not some, a huge number of local domestic producers came up. I think that's the reason why they lost the shine. I mean, by shine, I mean the shrinking market share. Because it is the growing tendency in Indian markets, it's a consumer brand. Consumer brand, which I think I'm going to talk about day after tomorrow, the strategy lecture that I'm delivering. So branding has been very effective. Like you've got idols that you form, you only get to buy Nokia and Adidas based on motivation created from your advertisements. The kind of TV channels you have got, how many advertisements do you pay, do you invest in per customer, and that reflects your market share. So I think the German fashion, the shine has not lost, but it's kind of a cloud, it's been clouded by a large number of other players in the market. So I'm not sure if the cloud is going to move, which we need at the moment to see the sun, but it's there. I don't think it's a lost case. I mean, a bit of time maybe after a failure, after a case of a few more casualties, just like the airline sector. So, and as your finance foreign minister said, that it's kind of a constant companion and a strategic partner. So, of course, we're not forgotten you.
Any more questions? Questions maybe?
Just to interrupt for a second. Does this mean that you are awake but you're not following? No question means two things. Alright. But still. Sir.
You talked about companies like Marks and Spencer, big companies. What about smaller and medium-sized companies? We're here in the region of southern Germany. We have a lot of small, medium-sized family businesses, like in the region of 100 to 200 employees. Would you recommend them to go to India to look for opportunities there? And if so, what would be the preferred market entry mode that you would recommend to those companies?
Right, it's a very good question, because I think I mentioned in the paper, one of the booming businesses in India is food processing, food sector. And there are two reasons behind that for its boom.